You got these lawyers that just frauding and pit anything doing anything they want basically in the courtroom, and the judges is just allowing this to go on.
Jay-Z's name is back in the headlines, and not for music. The judge just gave the green light for his alleged son, Rymir, to finally move forward with that long-standing paternity case. And now Jay-Z has officially been ordered to respond by July 18th. This ain't just some tabloid drama anymore. It's court official. But who's been throwing gasoline on this whole situation? You already know, 50 Cent. That man stays messy, and he's loving every second of this one. 50's been running wild with the story on social media, and now Nicki Minaj has jumped in too. She reposted 50's shady tweet and added her own flavor. Is this why he was trending the other day? I don't know. To God be the glory, that right there tells you even the queen of rap is watching this unfold. And get this, word on the street is Beyonce herself might be trying to block this case behind the scenes. Yeah, for real. Folks are saying she's allegedly flexing her influence again, just like Rymir's godmother claimed in earlier interviews.
Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay, about regarding saying Rymir needs to go away little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there with the song they made. And then next thing I know, somebody was at my property. Somebody came to my property in the evening time and had a conversation about trying to get in through the back door.
The power plays going on in the background are wild, but here's where it goes full conspiracy mode. Some reports claim the reason this case was finally allowed to proceed is because Jay-Z is allegedly linked to a dark secret, something involving a morally messed up transportation scheme that allegedly resulted in Rymir's birth. That's right, people are whispering that Jay's been dodging the case because he knows the truth might come out if he steps in that courtroom. Let's not forget, Jay-Z usually has zero hesitation when it comes to shutting down lies. He had no problem legally clearing his name when folks accused him and Diddy of something awful involving a minor. He moved fast on that, but with this Rymir situation, he's silent. Not even a peep. Why is that? Something's not adding up. And it looks like the clock's ticking on Jay-Z's silence. This whole case is getting more twisted by the minute. Let's break it down. No fluff, just facts and fire. Word is, Jay-Z and his legal crew have been pulling every trick in the book to keep this paternity mess on lock, trying to bury it deep. But it looks like Rymir might finally be getting his long overdue shot at a real paternity test. That's right. Official reports say the judge gave the green light to move forward. And guess what? I got my hands on those court docs, and it's crystal clear. The judge didn't hold back. It says plain as day. Respond to the latest filing by Lily Coley versus Sean Corey Carter. For the foregoing reasons, the court grants the ex parte application and orders that defendant's deadline to respond to plaintiff's complaints be extended to July 18, 2025. Boom. Stamped and signed. That means Jay-Z has no choice but to answer. He's officially on the clock. Now here's the part that's been haunting this case for years. Rymir's story. He says his mother, Wanda, hooked up with Jay-Z back in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in Brooklyn. According to Wanda, Jay drove her in from Philly. They messed around, used protection, but it didn't work. She got pregnant. Jay came back once, about 2 weeks later, and then vanished. She had zero way to reach him again. Rymir says he didn't even know any of this until he was around 8, when his mom finally told him she believed Jay-Z was his real dad. Up until then, another man, her live-in boyfriend, Robert Graves, was listed on the birth certificate. But in 2011, a DNA test proved Robert wasn't the father, and his name got legally erased. Wanda straight up told Rymir that she'd only been with 2 men, Robert and Jay-Z. So if Robert ain't it, who does that leave? But here's where it turns into a whole different storm. One of the biggest reasons Jay-Z's been dodging that paternity test, it's what people are whispering. When he allegedly slept with Wanda, she was just 16, and Jay was 22. That's a serious situation. If true, it could explain exactly why he's been staying far away from that courtroom. The silence is getting louder, and the facts are stacking up. This whole situation goes way deeper than people realize. Wanda's godmother actually dropped some major tea a while back that's now resurfacing, and it's wild. She said she got a call from one of Jay-Z's in-house lawyers. At first, everything seemed smooth. The tone was respectful, like they were really trying to settle things privately. They even showed interest in Rymir's music. Yep, they were allegedly talking about possibly signing him to Jay's label, but only after he finished high school. Wanda's godmother shut it down, though. She said no, and that's when everything flipped. Out of nowhere, a different legal team stepped in, and their vibe changed fast. Way less friendly, way more aggressive. Her take? They figured out this wasn't just a money issue. It was a legal minefield. If Wanda was underage at the time, as she claims, that meant Sean Carter was facing way bigger problems than just a paternity test. And here's where it gets even messier. If Jay-Z is proven to be the father, that opens up a whole other legal angle. Because allegedly, he didn't just sleep with Wanda when she was 16. He reportedly picked her up in Philly and brought her across state lines to his aunt's crib in Brooklyn. That right there, that's a legal situation nobody wants to touch, especially someone with Jay-Z's fame and fortune. Now, back in the day, Wanda actually did try to hold him accountable. She filed a civil suit demanding child support from Jay-Z, but the case got thrown out, not because it had no merit, but because she filed it in the wrong state and never got a second shot. Jay's legal team jumped on that. One of his lawyers claimed that Jay-Z had no interest in any custody case involving Rymir, so Wanda couldn't push forward. But Rymir wasn't giving up that easy. Fast forward, he took the fight into his own hands. But according to him, every time he made progress, it was like running into a brick wall. Why? He says Jay-Z was using his money and influence to block him at every turn, paying off lawyers, judges, and whoever else to keep the case frozen.
These lawyers that just frauding and pitting anything they want basically in the courtroom, and the judges is just allowing this to go on. I honestly believe that both of them should be hold it responsible for this, because you guys, this is you guys' job, and if the judge can't see this or overlook it, I can understand a mistake, but just throughout the years, this continue to overlook fraud is just craziness to me. Like, come on, it's right there in your face. If you can't see that, then I don't know what else we can do to help you guys believe that it's something crazy going on with this case. Honestly, I just want everybody in the world just to keep their eyes open and just watch things that happen, that this like how things unfold, because it's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, collusion. Who knows what it's for? Money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong.
That's when Rymir tried to take it all the way to the Supreme Court, but they shot him down, saying they didn't have the power to reopen sealed cases from lower courts. Still, Rymir didn't stop. He refiled again, this time in the appellate division of the New Jersey Superior Court. The fact that he's made it this far says a lot. This whole battle has been nothing but a grind. Jay-Z's legal team has been playing hardball from day one, arguing that he shouldn't be forced to take a DNA test in New Jersey just because, get this, he supposedly never lived or owned property there. That technicality almost had Rymir cornered, because legally there was no way to force Jay-Z to submit to a paternity test until Rymir pulled out the receipts. Rymir came with proof, y'all. He posted a bombshell detail from Tina Knowles, yes, Beyonce's own mother. In her book, Tina allegedly confirmed that Jay-Z did in fact have property in New Jersey during the time this case first started. That's huge. So all that talk about Jay never having ties to the state, it might have just collapsed. The man had property there, so now there's a real legal path forward. With all this back and forth, you'd think this would have been shut down years ago, but finally the judge said enough is enough. The case is moving forward and the momentum is shifting. Thousands of people are backing Rymir now, rallying behind him, demanding the truth. And guess who's helping shine a light on this case? 50 Cent and Nicki Minaj. Nicki isn't just standing on the sidelines, she's coming straight for Jay-Z's empire. After reposting a deep-cut interview with Dree Hadley, who's none other than the estranged daughter of Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, Nicki went off. In the interview, Dree accuses her own mother of getting her locked in a mental institution. She even claims Roc Nation was gunning for Nicki, trying to shut her down completely and rob her of her voice, and Nicki is not backing down. She blasted Roc Nation for going after her family, saying they targeted her husband, her child, and made moves that should have the whole country concerned.
She has been through some trauma and some of with Roc Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals. What I can say about that is I've witnessed and heard a lot of things. Again, is hearsay, right? So it doesn't even matter. And that's why I'm not even going to go into detail with that. If I have the opportunity to speak with Nicki, would love to connect with her on that. But I've kind of seen, just like you firsthand, how they've they've abused of her platform. They abused her talent. They've abused of her freedom of speech. They've abused her family. They've attacked her husband. They've attacked her child. And it's sad. It's really sad. Somebody so resourceful, talented, high profile as Nicki Minaj being targeted. It should really scare the American people. me, it should really scare you guys too, right? Because I'm the daughter. So it's like at this point, if it's happening to me, I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it, because I think she's almost seeing it like, well, it happened to me, it's happening to her. Let me speak up on it. Nobody is safe right now. And she's fed up. I think she's fed up because she's been through a lot.
Her words were intense, like a direct warning. She called it sabotage, and it's got people wondering how deep this really goes. Lately, Nicki's been opening up even more, dropping hints that Jay-Z and his crew have been actively trying to destroy her from behind the scenes. She said it's the real reason she's held back from dropping music. She even suggested there's been a silent campaign to turn her own husband, Kenneth Petty, against her, using lies and pulling strings behind closed doors. All this while Jay-Z stays quiet. Now that says a lot. Nicki Minaj didn't stop there. She turned up the heat even more. She put Jay-Z on serious blast, claiming that not only has her content and fan pages been shadow banned across social media, but it's all part of a clear strategy to damage her brand. And the kicker? Nicki says Jay-Z actually owes her money. Yep, she aired it out loud, and now she's hopped into Rymir's corner, adding even more pressure on Jay to finally face that paternity test. And from the way things are moving, that test might actually happen. After years of getting dragged through legal chaos, Rymir might finally be getting a chance to put this entire mess behind him. But even with all this support building up, from celebrities to everyday folks, there are still people questioning Rymir's intentions. What does he really want? Is it money, a public apology, or does he just want Jay-Z to acknowledge the past? Well, Rymir made it real clear in recent statements, this case ain't about being accepted as a son or begging for a family reunion. It's way bigger than that. Rymir said straight up, this is about broken courts, corrupt judges, and a legal system that failed his family. He claims shady court orders caused his family to lose money and even led to illegal liens being placed on their home. That's why he's been fighting for so long. He's trying to get justice, not just a last name. He's been consistent with his stance. I don't want money or anything like that from Jay-Z. I just want him to finally tell the truth to the world. That's what Rymir said. And he hit Jay with a real question. If you say you're not my father and nothing ever happened with my mom, then why won't you just take the test? Why is your first reaction always a hard no? At this point, Rymir just wants answers. He wants clarity. He wants the world to know whether Jay-Z actually brought his mom, Wanda, across state lines when she was allegedly 16, from Philly to Brooklyn, where they allegedly hooked up. That's one of the biggest claims that's never been fully addressed. And until Jay steps forward, the questions are only going to get louder. Let's get into these final jaw-dropping details because the mess is unreal. First off, Jay-Z's lawyers were caught lying in court. Yep, they told the judge they misspoke, but the documents don't lie, and folks are calling that move straight-up damage control. Then there's the kicker. Jay-Z officially denied all the claims in court, despite allegedly trying to settle the whole thing quietly years ago. So why the sudden shift? What's really going on behind closed doors? But it gets even darker. Rymir dropped a bombshell. He says after he filed that civil suit against Jay-Z, someone tried to take him out. He claims he was shot at and posted photos of his car with bullet holes to back it up. Not only that, he says something was planted in his car, and when police pulled him over, it felt like a full setup. These aren't just wild accusations, these are life-threatening claims. And if true, it's terrifying. This all sounds eerily similar to what Dree Hadley said about Roc Nation's CEO Desiree Perez. Remember, she accused her own mother of locking her away and using intimidation tactics to silence people. The parallels between Dree's story and Rymir's accusations, it's given pattern, it's given calculated. The dots are connecting and people are starting to pay serious attention. Everything is heating up fast. And now that the judge has ordered Jay-Z to respond, the pressure is officially on. Will he finally face this head on or keep dodging like before? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Rymir's telling the truth? Is there something bigger going on behind the scenes? Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update because this story is far from over. See you on the next one.